Hello, Oracles. Well, after a rough month of September, we finished the last day green, and we finished above a very important level going into the production and delivery release on Monday. So we'll get into what that level was, what it could indicate for the next month and the next quarter, potentially if we get the right production and delivery numbers, and we'll also discuss what the production and delivery consensus is for Monday. So we will get into all of that in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts today, again up 1.56%. We outperformed the market and we closed at 250.22. The important number that we wanted to close above today was 249.50. And for me, I wanted to close above 250. We did that just barely, but we did end up closing above 250. This is a great psychological level of support and resistance. And the 249.50 was a level that we were trying to hold above because that is going to indicate a bullish pattern. So, looking at this going forward into Monday, again, we have this gap up here at 262, the higher gap at 289. Below us is this gap at 217. Now, with this, we also have the RSI at 48 right in the middle, so we can move either way. We did end up getting about 128 million shares trading hands today, which is nice to see, a little bit higher than normal on a green day. So all of this is great information from a chart perspective, but that's not everything that the market goes on when it comes to stock prices. So of course, the next big piece that we have for Tesla specifically is going to be on Monday when we get the production and delivery numbers. So now Gary Black posted out Martin Viecha's delivery consensus estimate number. Tesla IR compiled third quarter consensus is for 455,000 deliveries. This compares to Bloomberg's third quarter consensus of 457,000. My third quarter estimate is 445,000. We continue to expect investors to overlook any reasonable miss 445 to 455 given the well-documented Model 3 Highland transition, which likely cost them 15 to 20,000 vehicles, and downtime for factory upgrades likely cost about 10,000. Tesla likely to release third quarter production and delivery before market open on Monday. So now when you look at historically, Tesla has been releasing them on the weekends because that just happened to be where the second ended up falling, and it came in at around 10 or 11 a.m. So Gary does believe that they are going to be releasing these number pre-market. We shall see what happens on Monday. Again, I am going to be doing a live stream. I was planning on doing a live stream around 10 a.m., but I think what I'm going to end up doing is just kind of being ready on Monday for whatever time they're going to get released. I wake up early anyway, so I will have everything all prepared and ready to go. So if we do end up getting that release earlier, I will jump on and do a live stream at that time. So I apologize, I can't give you guys a specific time because, well, we don't know one. So I'll be ready whenever. So if you guys happen to see the numbers come out, expect that I will be jumping on to do a live stream almost immediately after that. And so then, of course, when we look at the stock price where we closed today, which is a very good place to close above that $250 level, what we end up seeing on Monday could swing us one way or the other. That's really going to be the big piece that comes out of this weekend, is going to be the production and delivery number for Tesla specifically. So again, as Gary said, and I think he's absolutely right, if we come in anywhere above 445,000 vehicles delivered, it's going to be perfectly fine. Even though consensus estimate is 455, that's going to be fine. And what's going to end up happening is, just because of Q3 earnings coming out a few weeks later, what's going to end up happening is people are going to plug those numbers into their valuation model. That, of course, takes all of the average selling prices into account. They do all of that math, and that's going to come up with their Q3 earnings new estimates. But because of the fact that most people knew that this was going on, they may kind of overlook this and start looking more towards Q4. So they're probably going to look at whatever wording Tesla comes up with this production and delivery release, and then they're going to anticipate what's going to happen at the Q3 earnings call, discussing more about the future of Q4 and how Tesla is going to finish the year off. So if they discuss things like the Model 3 Highland production is going to be ramping up and getting to 120% of where it was prior to the upgrades, and they mentioned that they have strong demand for this Model 3 Highland, that's going to be very strong, and I think that will offset any miss that we see in the production and delivery numbers. Now, the other piece that we have that could be going on to affect the numbers is on the macro side of things. We do have the government still needing to get through and pass this budget, or else the government is going to end up shutting down. So that there needs to happen by tomorrow night, because going into October 1st, if the government has not figured out a solution, the government shuts down. That could be detrimental to the entire market going into Monday if that happens. Now, on the other side of things, the market may actually cheer the fact that the government gets shut down, partly because of the fact that most people in the market want the government to stop spending money. This is a problem with the government spending money. They need to stop this. We keep raising the debt ceiling, we keep on printing more money. Kind of needs to stop. So it's almost not a bad thing if the government does end up getting shut down, just because that means the government has to stop spending money. So it's not good for anybody who can't work or whatever's going on and the other negative implications for the government shutting down. But from a strict market standpoint, when it comes to the government spending, might not be a bad thing. But still, that could be something that could affect the market on Monday. Now, if they do end up passing this, maybe it does end up going well and we end up coming green on Monday. If Tesla does end up coming within that range where the market is pleased with their production and delivery numbers, we could see a very nice week ahead of us. Now, if we do get a miss on this, let's say Tesla delivers something below 440,000 vehicles, might be a little bit negative. Maybe we end up getting some red. So again, it's just something we're going to pay attention to on Monday. This is just my assessment, and I do think Gary is spot on with his assessment, and I agree with him. Now, this weekend, I will be updating my production and delivery forecast myself, so I'll try to get a video out for you guys this weekend. Just I will be moving in the next month, so I've got a lot of things I need to get done in order to make that happen, but I want to try to get that out for you. If not, what I'll end up doing is maybe I'll just jump on early in the morning on Monday, start that live stream before we get the numbers, and I'll go over all of that with you guys then. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. I will try to get that out to you guys. Now, going over to the dividend side of things, into the TSLY. So this here, I came up with a rough estimate as to what I think we are going to be seeing for the dividend payout. I did reach out to YieldMax to ask them when they do the cutoffs. Is it going from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, or is it X date to X date to determine what their payout is going to be? So for me, I have been going by beginning of month to end of month. I've been relatively accurate so far. And based upon the information that I have that we've been going on, my rough estimate right now is a payout of just under 63 cents per share. Now, the X date is next Friday on 10/5, and we will find out what the actual payout is on 10/4. Now, I know not all of you guys are interested in TSLY. This to me is just part of the strategy. And again, this is for me finding a way to bring in extra cash to be able to buy more Tesla stock. I did come up with my dividend game, end game, get it? I came up with that whole strategy today. I will be finalizing it this weekend. So for those of you guys who are interested in that side of the investing strategy, I will be releasing that over on X this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to make a full video on it, but I will put it over on X at least to explain to you guys what that's all about. Members and patrons will see that first. I will probably try to put that out tomorrow, and then I'll release it over on X on Sunday. So I posted this out today. I made major updates to my long-term investing strategy that involves building my portfolio to $10,000 per month as passive income and accumulating 4,444 shares of Tesla stock at a minimum. And so for those of you guys who may be asking, why 4444? 4 is my lucky number. So 4 fours just makes it that much luckier. That is my first initial goal that I would like to get to. I am anticipating at some point in the future, Tesla is going to be paying out dividends. If they pay out the same dividends that Apple pays out right now, that would bring in about $260 per month based upon 444 shares. And Apple right now is paying out 24 cents per share. So $262 per month, I would absolutely take that because that would be a nice little bonus on top of all the amazing growth we are going to see for the next 10 years in Tesla stock. So again, in order to get to that 4,444 shares, building up my dividend portfolio to get me to bringing in $10,000 per month will make getting to 4,444 shares so much easier. That is why I am breaking up my strategy the way I am, because also along the way, that will allow me to step away from my full-time job, no longer have to trade time for money, and then I can spend my time doing even more things that I enjoy doing, spending time with my family and friends, all sorts of stuff. This is my personal investing strategy. I get that many people on here are all in on Tesla stock. I think that's awesome. And some of you are already at the point where you can retire from Tesla stock. Again, that's amazing. That is what my goal is. But if I was going to try and do it by putting all of my money right into Tesla stock itself, I would not be able to retire on Tesla even in 10 years because I don't have enough money coming in to put into the stock itself to get to that point. And realistically, I don't want to be working for the next 10 years. I want to be able to step away from that within the next 5 years. I can't do that by investing just in Tesla. So Again, everybody's investing strategy comes down to your own personal reasons and what your whole entire thesis is and what your goals are. That's what my goals are. So, again, this is why I'm not doing it strictly into Tesla stock, why I'm doing it in the order that I'm doing it in, so that in 10 years down the road, I will have a better position than if I did just put all of my money right into Tesla stock itself. And so, quickly looking at the TSLY chart here, again, we hit this strong bottom here at $13. And this has been a pretty solid level of support for us. So I've been talking to Gort and he was looking at the same thing. And it's, when you follow that fear greed index right along with Tesla, it's pretty darn close. And so we're bouncing back up off of that. And closing at this 1368 level is a strong place. And I would love for us to come up and fill this gap here at 1413. Looking historically, every time we've gotten a couple of months like we have seen, we do end up pushing back up. Now, if you look at how we've traded over the course of the year, I know one of the concerns that some people have is, well, are we going to just keep on coming down and never ever go back up again? Well, when you look at the year itself, you looked at, yeah, back when we were dropping to $100 in Tesla stock itself, Tesla came down to $8.31. Then it came up and it has fluctuated, but then it ran to up over $18. This here is just a weekly chart, but on the daily, we did run up to over $18. Now we're coming back down again. So it does track along with Tesla relatively close. It does miss a bit of the upside, of course. We know this because that gets capped, but this just shows that when Tesla does go on a run, Tesla will go on a run with it. It just won't run as much. So yes, you do miss out on the upside growth, but if your intentions are to just bring in some income rather than looking for the growth and have to try and swing trade or sell your Tesla stock for the gains, this could be a viable option for you. And yes, it will go up. So again, talking with Gort, it may be the best option to try and swing in and out of this with maybe a TSLR or Tesla stock itself, not financial advice. But if you're trying to catch both ends of this swing, that could be a viable strategy. And again, for me, Tesla is just one of those positions where once I get it to $250 per month, I'm going to end up just taking 100 of that, putting it back into the ETF, taking the other $150 and putting it into other dividend ETFs to build up that snowball to get myself to that $10,000 per month in passive income. That's my strategy. And again, I will be releasing that entire plan to members and patrons tomorrow and then over on X on Sunday. So if you guys are interested in that, I will put that out at that time to show you guys what my plan is to get there. And my goal is to get there within the next 10 years, but I will be finalizing the exact time frame to get there over the weekend as well. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.